Perfect, 7:15. So let us all start our live masterclass on Git. So let me start with welcome back to Web Sadhana Samyoga again. We already started the full stack application development series. I completed episode one on Java JDK installation, Eclipse IDE installation, Visual Studio Code installation, and I've shown you how to execute a simple Java file using command prompt and using VS Code and using Eclipse IDE by creating new project. And my second episode two is how to install MySQL database as well as PostgreSQL database. And my third episode is on Node.js runtime environment. I clearly explained what is runtime, what is the difference between Java runtime and the Node.js runtime. And my fourth episode is like on Java Masterclass, where I clearly discussed all OOPS concepts along with the demonstrate the programs for every OOPS concept and along with the keywords also. So please watch these four episodes whenever you are free. And this is the next episode of Full Stack Development Series, which is Git Masterclass. It is very important in our daily usage of development, where we have to maintain our version control. For example, I created a file and I typed some 10 lines of code. Like later, I just realized that there is some mistakes, or I just want to add some more lines. So I added three more lines. Now my code length is 13 lines. So uh, after after having 13 lines, now I just want to go to previous file which is having 10 lines. So in that sense, in that scenario, we need to maintain a versions. The first version will have 10 lines and the second version will have 10 plus 3 13 lines. So version control management system can be done by using Git, where we can do Git commands, everything and all, to ensure that we are maintaining versions in our project development. And it's not only project version control, it is about collaboration also. It's not only one you are going to develop the project. uh, Multiple people are working on the same project, where you can share the code. We can maintain the versions of the individual codes also, and pushing multiple sources of code into a single repository, right? So let us all discuss all these terminologies in detail. So let's start my first definition, which is what is version control. Of course, it is a system that tracks changes made to files over time and allows developers to recall specific versions whenever needed. So as I said in my intro, so it's not just something like only one version will be there. I don't want to maintain only one version where all the modifications being done. Multiple versions will be there, one, two, three, four, and all, so that whenever whenever we need previous versions, so that we can just go to that version and then we can restore it whenever it is required. As a developer, I'm talking about. Now, what is the purpose of this version control? So purpose, you can, of course, you can track changes, you can maintain project history, you can maintain. So don't worry about the notes. At the end of the session, I'll keep these notes as a PDF file in the drive. You can access it. But better you maintain running notes also if possible. Collaborate with the teams. Like as I said, you can. It's not only one person who is going to develop the project. Multiple people will collaborate to develop a project. Next, roll back or restore to previous versions if needed, and you can avoid overwriting others works also. For example, as I said, something like multiple people are working on the same project, right? So you are working on the same file and I'm working on the same file. So you and me, if both are pushing the same code, like different code but in the same file, then there is a called as conflict. So how to resolve that conflict? So we will be going to talk about that also in the today's session, right? So this is about version control. And let's talk about what is Git exactly. So in short, I can say version control is nothing but we can track the changes of the code whenever we need it. It's not, we can maintain the multiple versions and we can collaborate with multiple people on the same project. So Git is a distributed. There are two types of environment. One is a centralized environment and second one is a Distributed. Distributed means multiple sources. Centralized means only one source. So distributed control system. In short, we can see DVCS, which is used to track source code changes, maintain version history, and support collaboration among developers. So Git is a software, I can say. So basically, whatever the version control definition we've discussed earlier. So to implement that, we need a software. So which can be done by a software called as Git, which can be done by a software called as Git. So so basically, the purpose of the Git is track track code changes, track code changes, and the next one is complete history, maintain complete history. It support parallel development. As I said, like multiple people working on the same project. So that is a collaboration among the people on the same project. That is called as parallel development. And we can enable rollback. That is restore the versions. For example, there are three versions are there. I want to go to first version, second version whenever needed. That is called as restore. And recovery. For example, you lost the code. So as you're maintaining the cloud, so you can just get that code whenever we need it. That is called as recovery. And it is facilitate a team collaboration also on the same project. Multiple people working on the same project. Same. And the next one is what is GitHub? So people are using GitHub like anything. So Git is a software or it's a system used to track source code changes. So tracking the code changes, maintaining the complete project history, all this can be done by Git software. But we need to have some kind of a repository where all these codes will be saved, right? That repository is called as GitHub. So basically, it is a cloud-based platform that hosts Git repository. So yeah, of course, using it, we can do all the commands with respect to the uh, track changes, maintaining complete registry and all. But we need a source where everyone can access because you can't save the code in your local system, right? If you're saving the code in local system, only you can access, right? Or if you want to share the code, we use mail, Telegram, or WhatsApp, such kind of mediums. But I need a kind of a cloud base like Google Drive, OneDrive, like that, so that everywhere if you go to any location, you can access that code, right? So that is called as GitHub. It's a cloud-based platform which hosts or which contains Git repository and provides provides collaboration collaboration features. So let me just talk about some features. First one is, of course, you can create your own repository. What is repository? Repository is nothing but it's a collection. Whatever the code files you have or what are the files you have, that files will be saved into one folder. That folder is called as repository. Next one is you can pull request. What is pull, what is push and all, we'll just discuss clearly in the coming topics. And we can review the code and we can issue the tracking. I mean, we issue tracking. That means, for example, there is a project contains multiple issues. The first issue is creating a registration task. Second one is creating a login task. Third one is updating password task. Like that, multiple tasks will be there, right? So every task is called as issue, or some people will call it as use case also. And project boards. Project boards is related to agile technology. Like we have a project board where all these issues will be created so that once issue is closed, then it will be converted as a converted. So there will be stand-up call meetings every day as per the agile software development lifecycle. And for every 1 week or 2 weeks, a sprint meeting will be there with the client, right? Project boards and of course team collaboration, and the last one is CI/CD integration. So Git is best tool for the CI/CD integration, continuous integration, and continuous delivery or deployment, right? So people are not deploying or publishing the code manually. First, they'll just type the code, they'll push it into Git automatically. Code will run, and code will build and code will test, and then finally code will publish to the any domain, right? It is an automatic process. We call it as CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment or delivery, right? Previously, like whenever the client says these are the changes I need, so developers need to modify that. They need to give that entire code to the production team or development team. So they will just work on the code execution and then testing and then they'll delivery. So there will be two teams, right? Development team and operations team. Development team will work on development part. Operations team will be work on testing part, building part, and the delivery part. So now we are going to bridge the gap between development team and operation team. That's why it is called as DevOps. Like as after full stack series, we are going to start DevOps also. But let me just give you some few definitions about that while doing this full stack series. Now, I just want to highlight one note point. As I said, centralized. I mentioned one thing that centralized DVSCS, that is distributed version control system and centralized version control system. This centralized version control system means single central server will be there, only single. The problem will be single point of failure. If that server is collapsed or crashed, entire all code repositories will be gone, right? But when it comes to distributed version control system, I can say VCS in short, right? Every user, uh, every every user has its own repository. User has complete repository repo, right? Right. Now, without wasting our time, so let us all download the Git software. So just type Git download. Just type Git download. Git install. There are multiple operating system. It is showing Windows, Mac OS, and Linux build from source. So it is already there in Windows. Let's directly click here to download. And I'm saving all the softwares in one folder. Web Sadhana Samyoga softwares save. So the software is getting installed. Meanwhile, what I'll do is like let me go to let me just go to any one folder, and I want you to create one simple folder called as demo project. A simple folder, demo git project. Yeah, better, demo git project. It's a local repo. Now let me open VS Code. VS Code already installed in our previous episodes. If you don't have, please. So whenever I open VS Code, the current folder is getting opened. So let me open that folder which we created just now. Go to File, go to Open Folder, and I created that folder in Web Sadhana Samyoga folder, which is Demo Git Project. Yeah, click on Select Folder. Right. So I'm ready with the Demo Git project. So now I'm going to use this project for demonstration of all Git commands. Right. Let's check whether the software is downloaded or not. So it's just getting downloaded. Meanwhile, let me just focus on some definitions. The first definition is working directory. We simply called as local repo. The project, the project folder, that means which I just created, demo git rep project, where the project folder where files are created, modified, and deleted. So that is called a local. What is the purpose? Allows developers to make changes before tracking them. So tracking is something like before going to push the code or commit the code, because what is meant by commits? Commit in the sense whatever the work you have done, you have saved, that will be saved in your local repo only. But whenever you're going to push the code, we need to make sure that the work is saved permanently. That is called as commit. Commit means you're ready to push the code, right? We call it as tracking. So if the file is tracked, that means the file is committed. So that is called as working repo directory. We call it as local repo. The next one is staging area. Staging area is also called as index. Staging area called as a temporary area where where selected changes are prepared before committing. I just want to highlight one point that before you're going to push the code, there are two steps. One is staging, second one is committing. So before pushing, we have to commit the code. Before committing, we have to stage the all the files and folders. So that means uh, once we are ready with everything, like modifications and all, we just need to create a temporary area before committing the code. We need to create a temporary area where all the selected changes, the files that you created, modified, deleted, are prepared before committing. So let me repeat again. Before pushing the code, there are two steps. One is staging area, second one is committing the code. The purpose is choose what exactly choose exactly what should go into the next commit. That means, for example, there are five files in your local repo, but I want to commit only three files only. I don't want to commit all files. So what we need to do, you need to add those three files into a staging area. So only those three staged files only will be going for the commit purpose. So you don't need to commit all files. That's up to you. Uh, you're working on multiple files, right? But all files should not be pushed into your Git repo. Some files will be still there in your working directory and some file directly will be visible in the Git. So that's why there is a temporary area got a step created, which is called as staging. Staging. So I told one point that working directory, which is a local repo, I just want to give a definition once again for the local repository. The Git, whatever the working directory is there. So this working directory only your local repo, right? When it will be converted into a local repo, whenever you're going to give a command called as git init, that is the first command. So the Git database stored on the developers mission. Purpose, it stores commits, branches, tracks, and the project history. So I initially mentioned in the brackets of working directory, which is nothing but local repo. Yes, whatever the directory demo Git project is there, that is your Git repo. But I can't directly call it as local repo because first I need to initialize the Git in that repository, that directory. We call it as Git init. So that is our first command once after the software installation. The next one is remote repository. Tree is nothing but Git repo. There are two repos. Local repo, that is that you are working in your system. Git repo is like the one you created in the GitHub. Repository repository hosted on GitHub or any other server. Any other server means we have GitLab, we have Bitbucket. There are multiple cloud-based version control websites we have. So we are now currently focusing on GitHub. At the end, I'll show you the GitHub Git lab also. Like it is same as GitHub only. Next definition is head. It is a pointer. It is a pointer to the currently checked out currently checked out commit. So what are the commit that is checked out currently? that head one will point to that currently check the commands. So what is the purpose of this head? It tracks the current working position in the repository. That means whatever the commits you have done so far, it's like a Git log and Git status. Git status is nothing but what are the files yet to be committed. Git log is nothing but whatever the commits you have done so far, which will show the entire commit history, right? So let me just take one example. Head is nothing but it will point out to main branch, main or master, and it will be pointed to the latest commit you have done in your repository, latest commit, right? So head is nothing but. So if I show you all these things in the during the implementation, you will get to know easily. Okay, just understanding the theory part because in the interview they'll ask what is working directory. Working directory is a place where you're going to create and delete the files. What is local repo? Once you initialize the working directory with the Git, that is called as Git, so that you'll be ready with the commits, staging, tracking, everything. And what is head? It is a pointer to currently checked out commits, whatever the commits that you have done and the latest commit will be pointing out in the top-down approach, the latest commit and then previous then, and then like that it will be displayed. Let us all complete the next step, Git installation. So we successfully complete the theory part. So if you have any doubts in the same YouTube live, you can go to previous also. You can go there and check if you didn't understand any specific point, and then you can come back again. Okay, it's a live, so it is like a recording, right? Everything you can see. You can go to uh, previous part also, and you can check it out for the reference. So I think my software installed successfully. Let me go to software, Git software 2.5.4, click on run. If it is already installed, you can ignore. Yes, next, next. So in this system, Git is already there. I'm trying to install again for the reference purpose. On desktop, I want to create, check everything. To continue, click next, 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 next. So the software is getting installed. Once we start the commands, it will be very easy. So within 1 hour, we can complete the session also if possible, like 8:30 or 9. So right. So I don't want to open anything. So let me just uncheck this option, click on finish. So just important point, just let us all check the Git version, command prompt, just type Git hyphen hyphen version. So this is a command. This is a very important command. I think this is the first command in our today's class, Git hyphen hyphen version, Git space hyphen hyphen version. So if you, sir, I already installed Git long back. Can I just go ahead with that? Yes, you can. You don't need to waste your time to install the updated version. If it is 2.54 or 2.44 or 2.34, if you're using the previous version, you're okay. It is okay. Yeah, every command will be executed. Git space hyphen hyphen version. So it will display the Git version, the command prompt. It will verify the Git version accordingly. If you're showing Git is not recognized, that means you didn't install the Git in your system, right? Now, now let us all go to our repository, Visual Studio Code. So I created a simple folder called as demo git repo project. Sir, can I create with any name? Yes, you can. And let's open terminal, new terminal, new terminal. So the first and important thing is like we need to configure our name and the email. Very important because uh, whatever the name and the email which you have set globally, that name and email will be considered for every commit that you're going to do. Okay, every commit will have commit ID, unique one, and your name, that is author name or name which the one who committed the data, and third one is email ID. So it is a global one. Okay, you can set multiple times whenever you want. So the command is git config hyphen global user dot name and your name. So let me just give name as your name or my name, whatever it is, name. That name will be considered when you commit the data. Commit means what is the commit and all we'll discuss clearly. Commit is nothing but whatever the work you have done that will be permanently saved before pushing. So enter. So see, this is a very important point. I opened VS Code I opened VS Code before the installation of the Git, right? So very important point, what are the command prompts or what are the terminals and all, it should be opened again after the installation because I opened before Git installation. So simply just close the VS Code or if any command prompt is there, this is okay because this command prompt got opened after the installation. So now let me open VS Code VS Code. Directly that demo Git project will be opened. I think this kind of error will get by a lot of students generally because they'll open all VS Code terminals, everything during the installation, but it should be closed because you need to restart. No need to restart the system. Just close all the tabs and then all the windows and then try to give the command. So let me just check the Git version here directly because it's a terminal. It's like a command prompt, right? Let's check here. Git space hyphen version. Now it is working. So very important, right? Very important because I can show you everything without errors also. But as you know, like we have to learn everything through errors only. So let's just configure the name. The name is I'm giving like this J Surya Kiran. You can give your name. Done. And like the same, let me just give email also. Email. Let me just give email as Surya Kiran. Okay, I'll give you the KL University mail ID. Any email ID will be taken, right? So I've set this globally. So we configured name and we configured email ID. Now Now, let us all see all the configuration details. The command is git config hyphen list. So these are the different configurations we have. So we have filter.lfs clean, next smudge process required, core auto. These are the different configuration details with respect to Git. So mainly, let me show you. So these are the details we have just set now. For example, if I give, let me just give, let me change the name. Okay, I change the name. Let me just go ahead with the email. So I don't want to change the email. Let it be like previous email on. Now let me just check the configuration now. So it's got changed. Now we have done with the configuration part. Let us all, let me just see, let me clear the screen. Git config. I want to view the username and use name and the email separately. Git config user dot name. The name is getting displayed. Git config dot git config user dot email. The email is getting displayed. Perfect. Now, now the first command is git init. Before that, let me just go to demo git project. Now the project is completely empty, right? So let us all create. Let us all initialize the our working directory with git by using a command called as git init. Git init. Git init is nothing but Git initialization. Git init is nothing but Git initialization. So we have done with the configuration. We have done with the Git configuration, and then let's talk about Git init. Git is nothing but initialization. Git initialization. Git initialization. So now you can see in your folder, you can see one empty one what we call one hidden folder is there actually. Some people they can't view directly. They need to go to show and just highlight. If I just click on hidden items, for example, this folder is not visible. So if I click on view and go to show hidden items, it will. So this .git folder contains all your information, like whatever the commits you have done, whatever the pushings you have done, pulling, merging, everything is there. For example, if you delete this .git folder in the middle of your process or at the end of the process, or whatever the Git connection you have done, the entire process, everything will be deleted. Your folder will be like normal working directory, right? So if you want to make it as a Git repo, for example, you need to initialize with Git space init. Otherwise, no command will be executed. Without Git init, you can't do any kind of operation like push, pull, commit, everything and all. Right. So without any further delay, let us all let me just go to website called as github.com. Let's ask one question, then we'll create GitHub repo. So just simple question. You can just reply in the live chat. Uh, how many types of repositories we have? If you want, you can just go to previous also in the live. Like if you can check that. Or please don't do chat GPT. Like just I'm just testing your knowledge. Anyone in the live chat they can answer. How many repositories we have in the Git? Nice. Two repositories. Perfect. One is local repo. Uh, next one is Git repo. My second question. Before going to push the code, for sure people will commit it. But before commit, there is an extra step. Can anyone tell that? There is one extra step. Let me just give you a clue. That is a temporary area. What is that area called as? That temporary area before commit. Before commit. Because I don't want to commit all the files. I want to commit only few files. So I want to save all those such few files in separate area. We call it as temporary area. What is that temporary area called as? What is that temporary area called as? Anyone? It starts with S. So after this, we'll continue with our GitHub repository creation. Anyone? Perfect. Staging. Perfect. Staging. So without wasting our time, let us all create our new repo. So sorry, I'll not ask any questions now. Just for like to make you active, just ask. Let me continue with our demonstration. Let me create so github.com. It will be asking you to sign in. For some people, it may ask some verification code and all. So please be ready with that. So github.com. This is the dashboard of the every user's profile. So click on new. Click on new. Click on new. So your username will be displayed here. Owner will be displayed here. Now here repository name. Let me create repository name as git repo git demo repo git demo repo. Let me write here. Git repo name is demo repo. Repo. Here the description. Description is optional. Demo project. Git demo project. Visibility. There are two types of visibilities: public and private. Public means anyone can view a repository. They can just directly view your code. They can download it directly as a zip file. Private means private means no one can see, but who can see? Whoever is going to add as a collaborator, that whoever is going to add as a collaborator, they can view the code. Okay. Now They can view the code. So, sir, what you're going to take, public or private? We'll do one thing. Let me just take it as private only. Okay, private. Okay, but public means anyone can view, right? Private means only the one who got the access can only view. So, if I give a public, we'll do one thing. At the end, I'll change the repository visibility as public. Okay, so that you can watch, you can see my code also. For now, I'm making it as private. Now, readme file is very important in the Git. So public, private, there are two visibilities we have. Next one is readme. Readme file is a MD file. MD means markdown, markdown file or markdown script file we can say. Markdown means like you can just apply heading, bullets, everything and all. So even in the even if you see like in the even you can save the notepad file also like markdown where you can apply like you can apply the bold like this. See now if you want to save the file, see it is asking you to save the file as markdown. Markdown is like whatever the formats you want. So that can be done by markdown MD. MD is nothing but markdown, right? What is that purpose of the README file, sir? This file this file includes project details. Like if you want to give project details, like kind of a description, and I want to give modules, uh, etc. You can explain. You can just put some links or everything. If you want to explain, for example, whoever is going to visit the Git repo, your Git repo, uh, like they want to know the what exactly your Git repo tells about. So that you can give in this file. It's like a kind of a description file. MD. MD is nothing but markdown dot MD. So don't choose this and git ignore. I'll discuss about what git ignore exactly, but let me just give you a simple definition. Git ignore is nothing but there are some files where you don't want to push from local repo to git repo. That means from VS Code to git repo. So that files must be ignored by the git. So those files must be mentioned in the git ignore file. So for now, I'm not keeping any git ignore file. I'll create it separately. So license, nothing. I'm not having any license. So create repository. Your repository name must be unique. Okay. Now this is the repository main page. Now, now I created repository. Now, without any further delay, let us all create a new file which is demo.txt. Demo.txt, where let me just give web sadhana, Samyoga, a one-line code. Okay. It is showing you already. You is nothing but untracked. That means we didn't commit the file, right? For the first time, it is showing you. You can just check the all these symbols it is showing in the VS Code, right? Now, let me just write one important command git status. Git status is nothing but it displays current repository status. What is the purpose of this? Purpose is untracked files. Whatever the untracked files before commit, that will be displayed. And whatever the modified files are there, that will be displayed. And whatever the staged files, that is about to commit, that will be displayed, staged files. So let me check that. Git status. Git status. So you can see demo.txt, which is untracked file. Perfect. Next one is git log. Git log. Git log is nothing but it displays commit history. So you can review the commits that you have done so far before going to push the code from the local repo to Git repo. Local repo means the repository you created in your system. Git repo means the repo you created in the GitHub. which is Git demo repository. There is another command called as git log hyphen hyphen one line also. Git git log is like commit history. Just one modification here. Git log, let me write like this. Git log is displays the commit history where you can review you can review your project history actually. And the next command is git log one line. That means git log will give you, I'll show you difference once we have done with this, some few commits. Git log will give you a longest commit ID, but git log one line will give you a simple 7-8 length commit ID. So this is the it displays compact commit history. I'll show you. Git log will give you the longest commit ID, your name, email ID, everything. But in git log one line will give you every commit in one single line only. I'll show you. I'll show you once I'm done with this, some set of commits before going to push the code. Right? So that you can just quickly review your commits also, because the every commit will be displayed in the what we call single line only. That is one line. One line. The next command is git log hyphen hyphen one line hyphen graph graph hyphen hyphen decorate hyphen hyphen all. This is a very good command in the Git while displaying the all entire commit history. This command will display entire commit history visually. That means from which branch to which branch you have switched out, from which file to which file you modified. Everything it will be displayed as kind of a tree kind of structure, not exactly tree, but it's like a graph. So graph kind of structure visually. That is called as git log one line graph decorate all. Decorate all. Purpose is, there is a good purpose of this command. The purpose is view branching. I said like one branch to other branch, right? That visibility also you can check by using this command. For example, you are in main branch. I want to create other branch for the other user. So from which branch to which branch you checked out, you switched, everything you can see in the in this using this command merging structure. I'll show you now. Now, as a first step, let me clear this screen. As a first step, git space add. Sir, what is git space add? Git add command, git add command, git add command is used to, it moves changes from working directory to the staging area, to the staging area, to staging area. What is the purpose? What is the purpose? You know, something like before pushing, there are two steps. One is staging, second one is committing. So before commit, I need to stage the files. You can stage few files or all files. So prepare changes for commit, for commit, for commit. For example, I have two files, file1.txt, file2.txt, and I have one folder called as a demo folder. This is a folder. So this is folder, and this is a file, and this is also file. Now let me just highlight one important point, that if you want to add it, if you want to add a single file to a staging area, then git space add space that particular file name only, like this. Or if you want to add that folder to the staging area, git space add space demo. If you want to add all files, then git space add space dot. Sir, what is dot represents? Dot represents current directory. Dot represents current directory. What you are in, which directory? You are in, you are in a directory called as demo git project. So all the files will be added. But git space add space dot is a very dangerous command, because for example there are 5 files, but I want to only add 3 files only. So you need to mention 3 files. Sir, do I need to individually mention? No need. For example, I want to out of three files and folders, file one, file two, demo. I want to add two files only. In that sense, in that scenario, git space add space file one.txt and followed by file two.txt. You can do like this also, right? Let me just check that clear. Let me just give only single file only demo.txt, demo.txt, demo.txt. Done. Demo.txt, demo.txt. This is how we can add. So one file and second file. So we created one local repo. We created one GitHub repo also. So git space add. Now let us all check. Let us all commit the data. So commit operation. So commit operation. Next one. The commit operation is, let's talk about commit, which is git commit. Git commit is nothing but creates permanent snapshot of staged changes, that is before pushing the data. So the command is git space commit space minus m space. Whatever the message is there, you have to keep here message. So let's go here. So git space commit space minus m space minus m stands for message. So let's give demo.txt added. You don't give project version 1.0, version 2.0 directly. Whatever the task you have done, you give the message accordingly so that you can track, right? Enter. So done, done. Now let us all check the git status now. On branch master, nothing to commit. Working tree is very clean. The default branch is master. I'll just discuss about that in upcoming topic. Let's check the log, git log, git log. Git log is it's clearly displaying. So there is a long commit ID. We call it as SHA code. Okay, it is a unique ID. Head. So head is pointing out to the latest commit. It is showing author. It is showing the date. It is showing the email ID. It is showing the commit message also. For example, if I want to display this log by using this simple command called as git space log space one line. Let's use this. Enter. You can see in the one line only. It's just it's a quick view of your commits, right? One line, single line. Instead of just displaying with, I mean, it'll avoid the long commit ID. It'll display like 7 length commit ID only, like first 7 letters of your commit ID, and the name, email ID will not be displayed. The name, email ID will not be displayed. So we have added and we have committed. So before going to push the code, we need to do uh, some 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 other steps. Before that, let me highlight one important point. So for example, I added new line called as full stack. Now let's see whether U is there or not. U is not there because the file is now tracked. When the file is called as tracked, when it is committed. So let me just modify the file full stack development. Now you can see M. M is nothing but what? Modified. U stands for what? Untracked. Once file is tracked for the first time, from second time onwards, when you do any modification, that label will be M. Okay, for the first time only it will be shown as untracked for the only for first commit. Now let us all check the git status now. Now it is showing. It is clearly showing that uh, like whether you add or whether you restore. What is restore? I'll discuss now. Right. Now let me clear the screen. Now let me just first we need to add git space add space dot we can use. Dot means all files, right? So we'll do one thing. Let me create a second file called as demo1.txt, which contains git version control version control system. Right. Now let's check the git status. It is showing two files, right? It is showing two files. So for example, if I add only one file, that is demo1.txt, if I forgot to do demo.txt, let's see, let me not add demo.txt. Let me add only demo.txt. Okay, right. Now let's check the Git status. So this is to be committed, and this is to be committed, this to be tracked. So now let's do git space add space dot without any confusion. Dot means like all the files. Git space add space dot. Right. Now let's check the git status. So now the files are now tracked, because that tracked means about to commit. So changes to be commit. Now the files are now got added to staged area. Now they are about to commit. So now how to commit it? Let me clear the screen. Git space commit space -m space. Now demo txt modified, and demo1.txt added. Right. Now git space log. Now you can see two commits. Right. Let me just check in the one line graph. So two commits is showing. Let me just highlight one important point before going to proceed with the pushing of the code. I'll add one more line. The line is local repo and git repo. Okay, git repo. Now what we need to do? Let me just check the status, git status. Now the files are untracked, about to commit, about to commit. So these files are, I mean, tracking will be done only one time only, that is first time as I said. From second time onwards, it will be shown as M, that is modified. See, even if you see for the first time when you created demo1.txt, it is showing as U is nothing but untracked. Once for the first time you added into staged area and committed, then the file will be under tracked. Then you can just go ahead with the commits, everything and all. Now, let me highlight one point. We need to add and commit. Let me just highlight one point that you can do adding and committing in one single step. Adding, add and commit can be done in one single step, which is git space commit space -am and the commit message. So let's do that. Git space commit space, git space commit space -am. A stands for adding, M stands for commit message. The commit message is demo1.txt modified. Done. But -am is a command will work from second time onward. For the first time, generally people, it is suggested to give git add and git commit separately for the first time. From second time onwards you give both the commands in one single command. Am. A stands for adding, M stands for giving the message. Now let me clear the screen. Git space status, nothing to be committed. Git space log. There are three logs we have. Very important point. Once multiple commits are getting displayed in VS Code, it is a colon is there. Whenever it is displaying colon, we need to type Q. I repeat once again, Q. Type Q. So type Q colon Q. Q stands for Q stands for quit. Q stands for quit. Q stands for quit. Quit. So Q need to, let me just repeat this point again. Just check the git log again. Check the git log. Check the git log. So Q, type Q. Q is nothing but what? Quit. Quit. Clear the screen. Now we have done with the staging and all. So now let us all talk about the remote, the new concept called as remote. Remote repository operations, very important. We need to add remote. What is the purpose of this one? It will connect local repo to Git repo, because what are the operations you have done so far, These operations are limited to your local repo only. Now, this demo.txt and demo1.txt must be available in your repo. What is your repo? Your Git repo. So we need to connect these two repos, local repo and Git repo. So for that purpose, we need to create a remote. How to create that? Git space, remote space, add space, remote name. Generally, by default, nickname of the remote is origin, but you can take anyone. You can take Surya. You can take, for example, Git. You can take anything, but people generally will take a by default name origin. And now go to your Git repo. You can see the command here also: Git space, remote space, add space, origin, and copy this link. Copy this link. This link is there here also. Copy this link and come to VS Code. Right click, enter. So I created. What is remote? Remote is nothing but connecting your local repo with the Git repo. Now next command is we need to view all the remotes by using git remote -v. So you can see the whatever the remotes you have currently. You can view by using git space remote space v. V is nothing but view. One is fetch for the you can do two operations: push and fetch. Fetch is almost equal to pull, but there is a difference between pull and fetch. Okay, that I will discuss clearly later. Next one is if you want to remove, for example, then for example, if I execute this command again, you got remote already exists. Yes or no? You got remote already exists. So if you want to remove it, for example, just remove this URL, keep up to origin, and remove this add and give remove. I mean remove add keyword and removed. Now let's check whether it is there or not. Not there. Not there. So this is how we can add the remote, we can view the remotes, and we can delete the remote. Now let me add it again. Same command, add it, add it. You can just view remote references also like this. ls means list remote. It will connect to the it will connect to the Git repository. Let me just highlight one important point before going to do this. I want everyone to do this step. I mean, if you want to change your passwords and all, because sometimes for the first time it will ask password, right? For the first time, and later you change the password in your GitHub, but it is not changed in your system. So in that purpose, we need to go to credentials, credential manager, credential manager, and go to window credential. You can see Git related credentials here. Check whether it is there or not. Let's go to Git related credentials. This is not needed for everyone. Those who changed the credentials later, so they need to check the whether existing credentials are there in your system or not. I'll open PowerShell. This step is not ready for everyone. In my system, I changed the system and new logins got added. That's the problem. So let me open once PowerShell. Right. These are the different. Let me remove the credentials related to git delete colon git colon https slash github.com element not from github.com. In credential manager, web credentials, let us all check the git related operations like let us all check email ID once. No credentials with respect to other option is as it a new repository. There is a very important point. Go to settings. Sometimes when there is no personal access token also, sometimes it will be there. So go to settings. In settings, there is a one option called as developer settings. Developer settings. Yeah. Go to new GitHub app. No, no. Personal access token. There are two types, fine grind and tokens. Go to tokens. So some people will delete the credentials from Windows credentials. That is the one step. If any Git related credentials are not there, then try to check the personal access tokens. Okay, this is very important point because not everyone will get everything is fine because some people will get errors also. I observe in many student system, new repositories like those who are studying first year and coming to second year, they'll face the situation. Generate new token, create a classic token for general purpose. Right. Now, token for full stack development. If you didn't get any error like invalid token and all, you can just proceed. No expiry time. I'm okay with that. And click on repo, come down, click on generate token. Token is generated. Now let us all go to our repo, repositories, Git demo repo. Now go to VS Code. Right. As personal token is not there, that's why it is showing error. Now uh, in his system, in this system, there is no grid credentials also there, not there, because this is a first time laptop where we are doing everything from scratch. So that's why for the first time it is asking me to sign in. So signing to a browser, right? Authorize, authorization success. Close this tab. Go to VS Code. Done. So let me execute this command again. Perfect, it is showing. So that means what does this command talk about? This command is nothing but this local repo is linked to which Git repo it is showing. That is very important, right? Because some people are creating multiple, I mean, different repos in their different accounts. Because, for example, let me take an example. I have three GitHub accounts, for example, but one of the credentials only will be saved in your system. So we need to link that credential. I mean, whatever the credential, Git credentials are there in your window, in your laptop or desktop, related repo should be created in your GitHub. If it is not matching, you'll get authentication error. Like, right? Those who are doing this Git repo creation and all for the first time, they need to create personal access token, which is PAT, right? So done. Clear this screen. So we had a discussion about remote creation and all, connecting local repo to the Git repo. So we created remote. We view list of remotes and we deleted it also. Then let me just push the code. So let's be ready. Git status nothing. Git log three three logs we have done, three commits we have done. Q, clear the screen. Very important point. In related to Git, we have two branches. We have two branches. Very important. We have two branches. One branch is master for local repo. The other one is main for Git repo. Git repo. So you can see every time here, Git status, it is showing on branch master. People will push the code, it will automatically go to master branch. But in your repo, there is a branch called as main branch. So you'll get two branches listed out. So make sure you change the branch name. Git space branch space minus M. I repeat once again. The current branch, if I see current branch means how to list out the current branch by using git branch command. Git branch is a command will list out all the branches that you created so far. So it is showing master, master. So star means it is currently you are currently in the master branch, but your code should not be pushed into master branch. Your code should be pushed to main branch, which is related to Git repo. Minus M, minus M. You can see here also that command minus M. M stands for modify. M stands for modify. Small m for message. Main. Main. You no need to mention the current branch. Whatever the current branch you are in, that will be a previous branch name. The new branch name is main. Enter. Now let's just check the branch. No main branch. Now without any further delay, let's execute git push. So what is git push? So git branch minus m modify main. So master branch name will be changed to main branch. And now let's talk about push command, push operation. Git push is nothing but Git push is nothing but pushing your code from local repo to the local repo to the local repo. I can say simply uploads your commits, whatever the commits you have done, uploads commits to remote repo or pushing the code from local repo to Git repo. Let's do this. Git push. For the first time, you'll get error because git push command will be in dilemma to which repository I need to push and to which branch I need to push, right? Because we have multiple branches. One is master and second one is main. So for the first time, we need to mention push minus U. U stands for upstream for the first time. and we need to mention which remote it is. What is the remote name, origin, and which branch it is. What is the branch? Main branch for the first time. From second time onwards, when you give only git push, the code will be pushed to the Git repository which you have set for the first time. Which repository it is? How you set the repository? How you connected the local repo with the Git repo by using remote, right? Remote. Enter. Entire got pushed because if the code is pushed in a sense your git is working so properly in your system, that means credentials, everything is fine. If you're getting any error like invalid everything and all, we need to delete the existing credentials from the control panel like this and check the credentials there and remove that clearly, then again try to push the code. It will ask you to enter the credentials again. Simple. Now go to your browser, refresh. Now you can see demo file and you can see demo1.txt file also. Demo file and demo.txt file also. Clear? Now I just want to highlight one important point that git push minus u origin main. This will create upstream. For the first time only we are giving upstream for tracking purpose. Next you can push specific branch also. Git push origin branch name. You mentioned the branch name. This will push to specific branch. Sometimes you have to forcefully push. Then the command is git push hyphen force, right? But there is a warning. The warning is may overwrite remote history. So you sometimes you'll get error while pushing the code. So force command we can use. Next command is pull command. What is pull? Git pull. Let's talk about pull and fetch operations. Git fetch operation. Git fetch operation downloads remote changes without merging. Purpose is review changes before integration. For example, there are three branches we have: U1, U2, U3. U1 push the code, U2 push the code, U3 push the code. So before going to merge all this, before going to integrate all these three users branch code, first we need to verify that. So for that purpose, people will use git fetch. The command is git fetch. If you want to fetch all, then the command is git fetch all. All. Next one is git pull. There's a very important question regarding fetch versus pull. Fetches and merges the changes also. I'll show you that. And the purpose is update local repo. Update local repo. If anyone asks like what is fetch versus pull, fetch fetch downloads only, but pull downloads and merges also. It is safer because you are not merging the code. It is faster. This is no local changes because we are not merging the code. So the local repo will not be updated, which updates the local branch also. Right. Let us all check the what we call. Let us all check the pull command first. So what I'll do is like I'll go to code. I'll go to add file. Let me let me create a new file. I'll create a file directly here. The file name is demo2.txt or HTML, right? I'll type the code HTML code, head section, any file you can take. Just for example purpose, I'm taking. You can take Java file also. That's up to you. Head section, which is title, HTML document, body, my HTML, I mean web. Let me just put it in H2 web Sadhana. I created a file like this, commit changes. If I create this file in the local repository, we need to create it, we need to add it, we need to commit it. But if you do it in GitHub directly you can just create the file and automatically it will be created in main branch directly. Let me go back. Main. I just need to give, so sorry. Yeah. So let me give file name as, uh, I think I mentioned demo2.html, right? Let me give it as index.html. Yeah. Now commit changes. Directly we can commit changes and and one second. Index.html added. Commit message. Let me refresh this. So you can see index.html added. So now I added in the Git repository, right? Now here, for example, here you now you are in the Git repo. So clear the screen. Git status. So on branch, the branch is up to date with origin main, nothing to commit, working tree clean. Now we just need to pull the code. So pull the code from local Git repo to, we already written that point. Pulling is nothing but, let me repeat once again. Let me just uh, let me just give you a simple thing. Pull is nothing but Git repo to local repo. So Git pull, we need to mention the origin. Let's check whether we are directly going to get the code or not. Let's check. If yes, okay, got it. If not, for example, if you get any error, git pull, we need to mention the remote name, that is origin, and branch name main. No need. We have only one branch. We already connected the local repo with the git repo, right? Now we got index.repo. So pushing is nothing but local to git repo. Pulling is nothing but git repo to local repo, right? Now clear the changes. Let us all talk about merging of branches. Let's create multiple branches now. Branches. Branches topic. Branch is nothing but branch is an line of independent line of development. Develop features, develop features without affecting the main branch. I'll tell you one example. I'll tell you one example. For example, now the current branch is main. This branch contains this branch contains entire code, right? But I don't want to maintain only one branch because my branch is going to, I mean, my project is going to have multiple members. For example, user one, user two, user two, user three, three branches. User one working on, for example, admin module. So he will work on that module and he'll push the code to user one. And user two is working on seller module. Module is nothing but set of operations. And user three working on buyer module like this. So let us all create three branches and let us all integrate the all three branches code into main branch. So now let's see this. Let's close all the tab. right? Now what I'll do is like I'll create a new file, registration dot. Let's not complicate this. I'll create one second, one second. First one, git space branch, main branch. Now let me create a new branch called as git space branch space. Git space branch space. Branch name is user one, right? Now let's check the git branch. Git branch will display the list of branches we have and what is the current branch now you are in. Now we have two branches, main, user one. Sorry, branch, two branches, main, user one. The star is showing for main. You are currently in main, but not in user one. How to switch out? Git space, branch space, git space, branch space, switch, and the branch name is user one. Switch it to branch user one. Now let's check the command git branch. Perfect. You are in user one. You are in user one. So let me write create git branch will display all the branches. If you want to create new branch, git space, branch name. And if you want to switch, git space, switch space, branch name. Now you are in user one branch. Let me create a new file. The file name is test1.txt. Here, this is this is test1 file created slash modified by user one branch. Clear. It is very clear. Now clear the screen. Let's check the git status. It is untracked because untracking and tracking will be done for the first time. From second time onwards, it will be showing as a modified. Don't confuse. Before pushing or pulling, we need to do two steps. One is staging, second one is committing. Next, git space, add space. You are in user one branch, right? User one branch means only one file is there. So either you can use the command git space, add space, test1.txt, or you can do dot also. Let me just do dot. Git space, commit space, -m, test1 dot test1.txt added by whom? User one branch. Here user one is a branch or user. I'm considering it as a three users. Even though all branches, everything I'm doing in one single login only, like from my login, but think it as main is under my login, Surya, and user one is someone else, user two is someone else, and user three is someone. There are totally four users now. Enter. Perfect. Now git space, push, push origin, that is a repository, but we need to mention which branch, user one branch. Enter. Done. Now let me just go to our refresh. Now you got a pull request because user one pushed his code from his repo to your remote repo. Now main repo is the main code one. Now he got pull request. So do I need to take the code from user one or not? User one or not? That is my decision, right? So now this is done. Let's take git space branch. Now let's create second branch. Let me just show you. Let me just show you a simple step to create the branch. Directly we can create and we can switch. Git space checkout -b branch name user two. This command will create branch and will switch to that branch also. Perfect. So git space branch. You have three branches now: main, user one, user two. The branch is created and it is switched out also, right? Previously we created separately, we switched out separately. Now Now you're in branch user 2. Let me create second file, test2.txt. Copy this, Control V. It is untracked because first time we didn't commit, we didn't add it to staged area, or we didn't committed yet. Test2 file, use it, use it. Now let's go to Git status, Git space. We can add and commit in one single line, right? Git space, commit space, minus am, test2. Let's check the previous commit message. I want to follow in systematic way, right? We'll use the same command. I'll add am so that I want to add and commit in one single line. Sometimes when the first time it will show you error. Yeah, it is showing error. For the first time it will show error. From second time onwards, you can use add and commit. So let's do it individually. Let's git space add space dot git space commit space minus m double quotes test2.txt added by user 2. Done. Sometimes if the both commands are not doing in one single command, you can do it individually. Git space push. Now you're going to push to which branch? User 2. Now second pull request will get second pull request from the user 2. Right. Let's create third one, third branch. We used checkout, right? Let me introduce git space switch minus c minus c. You can use this command, which will create and switch. User 3, right? Yeah. Now git branch. Total four branches we have. Main is the main source code, three branches. Let's create third file, test3.txt. Let me copy paste this code. Test3 file, user 3 branch. Now git space add space dot, or you can give single file, which is test3.txt. Only that file only will be added. So sorry, 1 second. I think, yeah, the name is correct. Test3, right? Yeah. Git space add space. So sorry. Git space add space text3. Git space commit space. Let me use the previous commit. Test3 user 3, right? Now git space push. What is the remote name? Origin. The remote name is common. And now I'm going to push it to my repo. So taking the code from user 3 to the main, that is a main user decision. User 3. Right. Now let me clear the screen. Let's switch out to git space checkout to main. Let's see git branch command. Now you're in main branch. Now let us all take the decision whether to merge with the user one or not. So how to do that? Git space. See, if you're in git checkout user one, now you got text1.txt. If you are in user 2, you got text2.txt. You are in test 3, you got text3.txt. But if you check out to main, you can see only first three files only, right? Because those three files are not merged, right? So let us all merge. How to merge? Merging can be done by using two branches. So you're in which branch now currently? Main branch. Now let us all first merge main with user 1. In next step, main with user 2. Next step, main with user 3. Main with user 3. Main with user 3. So git space, you are in main branch and you are mentioning user 1. That means the code will be merged with user 1, right? Merged. Merged. Now you are in now you're in main branch. You're in main branch. You're merging with user 2. Done. You're in main branch. You're merging with user 3. Done. Merging is done. Now you can see all the files, but still, let me go to Git repo. But still we have a pull request because we only merge the code in the local repo. Now the entire code along with main branch, user 1, user 2, user 3, all these 4 users code is available in main branch in local repo only. Now we have to push the code. So let me clear the screen. Git push refresh. So we merge the code and we push accordingly. So this is how we can just create the multiple branches. Individually, you can push the code also before merging. So before merging, or generally people will create the, I mean, we will push the code and they'll create pull request and its main branch decision whether you have to integrate or not. And I want to highlight one important point that we have created 3 branches, right? So for example, I want to rename the branch. For example, I am in which branch now? Like this. Let me create a new branch called as Git checkout, checkout minus B test branch. Okay, right. You're in now. Now you're in which branch? Test branch. So I want to rename this branch name. I want to delete it. So whenever you want to rename or whenever to delete, don't be in that branch. You be in the other any other branch. So let me just switch out to git space checkout to main branch. Okay. Now let me rename branch minus m. One second. Rename, right? Sorry, rename. Checkout to test only. Checkout to test only. Git space branch space minus m modify, or you can take m capital M also. The new name is, for example, instead of test, let me give test branch. Test branch. Right. Now let us all check the branches now. Changed. Now if I want to remove this, for example, git space branch space minus d space. What is the branch name? Test branch. It will not be deleted because you are in that branch. Renaming will be possible if you are in that branch, but if you want to delete that branch, you are in that branch currently and you want to delete it, which is not possible. So let's switch out to let's switch to main branch. Switch, and let me try to delete the branch. So git space branch. So you can see 4 branches only. So this is how you can create the branch. You can check out or switch. You can rename and you can delete. You can delete. So branches and remote operations completed. Let us all talk about the important one, conflict resolution, merge conflict resolution. Very important. After this, only git ignore will be there. That's all. At the end, I'll be talking about few important commands like tag, like reset, revert, and all. We can end up this entire session in next 30 minutes. You can watch this video again during this recording. Merge conflict resolution. That means occurs occurs when Git can't automatically merge changes. Very important changes. Purpose: it will prevent accident overwriting. 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 So let's take an example. There are 2 branches we have. The first branch is The first branch is dev1, the second branch is dev2, and there is a main branch called as main. I just want to highlight one important point, that there is a file called as index.html, right? Both dev1 and dev2 going to modify same file, not a different file, same file at same line. I repeat once again. If dev1, and dev2 going to modify more than one branch going to modify dev1 and dev2 modified same file at same line. Now, if you want to integrate dev1 and dev2 code to the main branch, right? So it will be in dilemma. Which line has to consider either dev1 or dev2. So I just want to highlight one point, that Git will not override the changes automatically. We need to resolve the conflict manually. So you as a developer choose which line has to consider either dev1 or dev2. Let me check this example clearly. Say merge branches. So now let's check we are which branch we are in. Yeah, main branch. Now what I'll do is like git space checkout, or you can use switch also minus b. Switch means minus c. Checkout means minus b. Dev1, right? You are in dev1 now. Let's go to index.html, right? Let's go to index.html, right? Here I'll create another line. Full stack development by dev1. I added this one line. Okay, added this one line. Git space git space add space dot git space commit space minus m space modified index.html by dev1. Git space put origin, branch name is dev1. Done. Let me see the pull request. Perfect. Now without any further delay, let me clear the screen. Git space checkout space dev2. Let me go to index.html. I'll change the same file, same line, because you know while project development, there will be some sharing files, right? Even though project is developing as modules, multiple modules, but there is a situation where multiple people will work on the same file, right? In that situation, merge conflict will occur. So let me just change it to dev2. So git space add space dot git space commit space modified index.html by dev2. Dev2 is a branch name, right? Let's push the code to the dev2 branch. Refresh. You got pull request. Now main branch is going to decide. So to integrate the code from dev1 branch and dev2 branch, in the list we can see all the branches like this. So dev1, dev2, user1, user2, like this. Branch wise also code you can see. Now let me clear this screen. Let me check out to main branch. Now see, this is very important concept, merge conflict. Let us all check whether merge conflict will occur or not. Now you are in main branch. Let's check the branches we have. You are in main branch. Let me merge the code. 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 Merge the code with the dev1. Dev1 updated. The file got updated. There is no problem because just second line got added, and second line got added. That line is, let me just check that, index.html. Second line got added. That is full stack application development dev 2. But if I now let me just go to dev 2, enter, enter. So now this is also fine added, no problem. Now dev 2. Now let me just push the code, clear, git push, git push, git push origin, origin main. Let me refresh. Index.html. Let's do one thing like same file, same file. Let's actually merge conflict should occur. Let me just do it in this way. Let me just switch out to checkout. I mean, checkout to you dev one branch. We have done one mistake. Actually, we didn't push the code individually. Merge conflict demonstration. Individually, branches should push the code. I'll let me just repeat that point again. I am in dev1 branch. Go to index.html, h2. Let me just show it again. H2. Let's add git version control by dev1. Clear. Now git space add space dot git space commit space modified by dev1. Right. Now you push the code directly. Git push origin here itself, dev1. Right. So nothing is there. We got dev1 request. I push the code. Now next one, git checkout dev2. Git checkout dev2. Let me just modify the line. Same line. What is there in the previous line? Let me check once. Dev1 because I want to copy the same line at same line. So checkout dev2, control V, dev2. Just for understanding purpose, because what we have to do when there is a merge conflict occur, that is a situation only. Not every time it will be occurred. Git space add space dot dev2 git push origin dev2. Right. We got two pull requests. One is dev1, one is dev2. Now let me clear the screen. Git checkout main, git merge with dev1. Yeah. When I execute a command git merge with dev1, I just want to integrate the code from dev1 with the main branch. I got conflict occurred. What is the conflict we occurred? So let me check this. I got conflict occurred clearly. What a nice concept it is. Merge conflict. Previously we didn't get this because I I created and modified files and I came back to the main branch and I after merging I pushed the code. But that is not the scenario. Individually branches should push the code and then during merging process it will get. So what we need to do? Just simple thing. You it is showing the problem here. So resolve in merge. No, just remove this all these codes, everything, everything, remove everything. Okay. Now let me just modify it to git version control like this. Let's check still is there any merge conflict, merge dev1. Merging is not possible because you have unmerged files. So let's remove this also. I'll take, I'll remove this by dev also. I'm taking decision. Main branch is taking decision because main branch is merging with dev one. Again, existing because it's unresolved conflict. We need to check the status once. Yeah, git space add space dot git space commit space minus m space modified index.html already up to date, right? So there is no problem. Now let's just try to merge with the dev2, merging with the dev2. You got again problem. So let me just try to remove everything. I'll include whatever I needed. Perfect. Git space add space dot git space commit space modified index.html. And now if I try to merge with dev2, already up to date. Now git space push origin or just git push because you're in main branch. Let me refresh. So finally, I decided as a main branch to which line to be included. I included just full stack and Git. But previously, Dev1 added one line, Dev2 added one line regarding full stack like this. So this is how we have to resolve the uh, merge conflict. So merge conflict means if multiple branches are changing the same lines in the same file, right? Let me just talk about the important topic called as dot git ignore. Dot git ignore. What is dot ignore? Very important. I want there are some files or folders should be ignored should be ignored by the Git. That means these files or folders will not be pushed. Will not be pushed. Let's see that. For example, let me close all the tabs. I'll create a one file called as tmp.log, temporary log file. Temporary log file. Let me create another file called as some .env file, log, some config file, tmp.log. I'm okay with that. Next one is some file called as some folder called as backup folder. It's not folder, sorry. Let me remove this once. I need to create a folder, backup folder. So one folder, one file. Okay. Next, let me create a so sorry. Let me create a new file called as we created one temp log folder, one is backup folder. So in the backup folder, let me create another file called as demo.java. D capital demo.java. So right. Now let me create another file called as tempo.env. .env is nothing but generally environment file. I think you'll be confused if I create this file. I'll create one folder called as I'll folder called as sample.txt. Txt. Yeah, right. So now I created one folder called as backup folder with one file called as backup folder. I'm least bothered what are the subfolders or contents we have in backup folder. The next one is tmp.log and the next one is the third one is sample.txt. Now I want to highlight one point that now these files should be ignored, right? So clear this screen. Before going to do the operation, we need to create another file called as git dot git ignore dot no spelling mistakes dot git ignore. So here you mention what are the files and folders to be excluded. Okay, so that these file and folders will not be pushed. First one, folder. Folder means backup folder. Just mention slash backup or just backup. It is a folder. You can give hash folder. Uh, Ignore it. Okay. Hash or hash folder. No. Comments are not included. Next one, file should be uh, .txt. Next one is tmp.log. The problem will be if you mention sample.txt, only sample.txt will be ignored, right? Sample.txt will be ignored. So I'm okay with that, but I don't want to exclude all text files, only sample.txt. But not only file, I want to exclude all files. So in that sense, star.log. Star.log in the sense like star.log in the sense uh, .log extension files with any name will be ignored. And sampled, if I give star.txt, all text file will be ignored because we are already working on text files, right? So will be I don't want to exclude every single txt file. I want to exclude only sample.txt, but I want to exclude multiple log files. So let me create another log file called as uh, like user.log. Like it contains user log file. Right. So what will happen? Entire backup folder will be ignored. Only sample.txt will be ignored, and both log files will be ignored. So let me highlight one point that here. Let me just check the git status now. So dot git ignore. So see, it will not show remaining files. Okay, it will be on because we added them into git ignore, right? So first, never ever don't add git space dot add. Very important, very important, important interview question also. When you try to exclude some of the files and folders, first we need to add git ignore file only, so that dot git ignore will identify which files and folders should not be committed, should not be added, should not be pushed. So add dot git ignore, and let me just give the commit message git commit uh, added dot git ignore file right. Now let me just try to add backup folder. I got error. What is the error? The file should not be added because this file is currently present in .gitignore. .gitignore will prevent you to add. .gitignore will prevent you to commit. .gitignore will prevent you to push. But still I want to add. So the command is add space -f space backup. But don't do that. -f means force. Because gitignore is ignoring the backup folder. But still you want to add. Force -f. I don't want to do. Next one is, let me try to add sample.txt also. Let's check whether it is going to add or not. Not added because it is there in the .gitignore file. Let me try to do it like for the user.log error. And we got, let me try with temp.log error. But if you want to forcefully add, then use -f. So now clear this screen. Git space push the code. We are going to push .gitignore file. Refresh. Uh, so Rishi, like I'll let me just complete full stack series and uh, like competitive coding interview and all. Then definitely start uh, like artificial intelligence and all. I'll try to do it, but I need a time. I want to do I want to maintain consistency. That's why first of all I'm looking into like full stack. I'll answer all the questions at the end of the session. Now let me refresh. Let me refresh. Yeah, not get ignore got added. So this is how we can just ignore the files and all like this. Now, I just want to highlight one point that next one, git reset. Git reset. What is reset? Reset is nothing but undo the add operation. So what is that undo the add operation? For example, I created a new file called as sample.java. Okay. sample.java. Now git space status. So I'm showing it is showing to add. So git space add space sample.java. Right. So now git space status. So the file got added, but we need to commit. But I accidentally added. But I want to reset it. So the command is git space reset space that file name dot java. So reset. Now you can see this error because I whatever the add operation we have done, I reverted it. Okay, I undo that. So, right. So reset operation is nothing but when you accidentally do add operation, you can undo that operation. Now next one is git revert. Revert. Git revert is nothing but it undo the specific commit operation. Specific commit operation. For example, for example, let me just go to sample.java. Okay, I will add one method called as public static sample. Not sample.java will do one thing. Let me just no, what is there? Let me just change this to sample.txt. Txt is already there. Okay. Let me just do with py sample.py. Yeah. Here Python file. Here print of hello world. It's a Python file. Now let's go to git status. I'm doing so revert is nothing reset is nothing but undo the add operation. Now I'm talking about git status. Okay. Now git space add space dot git space commit space created sample.py file git push origin main. No need git push. Refresh. 1 second. Refresh. Now what is the file? Sample.py. Right. Now let us all check the commits Sunday. So there is a command called as there is a one line command called as one line. This one git log hyphen hyphen one line. Perfect. So here, what is the latest commit we have? 30170014, right? Copy that. Copy that commit ID. Copy that commit ID. Copy that commit ID. Right? Quit space revert space that commit ID. With space revert space commit ID. Revert. Revert that commit ID -m reverted. Commit reverted. Experts greater than 0. Option main line. Experts 0 line. For example, let me just give revert. Yeah. If I give like this, the file will be opened like this. So now we have to give I insert mode like this. So you are in now insert mode and type whatever the line you want. Revert. It's already giving revert created. I'm okay with this. Now escape. I repeat once escape. Now nothing is displaying here. Shift to colon, shift to colon WQ. Shift to colon WQ. W means write, Q means quit. Enter. Enter. Now push, git push, git push origin main. Refresh. You can't see the sample.py now. Yeah, because I reverted. Let me do it again. Resolve. Let me create another file called as same file, sample.py, print of hi. Now let me add commit -m created. Any file you can take, text file also, sample.py, git push origin main, no need to wait, git push refresh. Now you can see sample.py. Now let me add new one, hello. Hel- Let me add staging area. Let me commit modified sample.py. Let me revert it. One line graph. What is the latest comment of modified? 2289 B66. B6C, sorry. Q. Git space revert space that commit ID. So you got I don't want I don't want to change this message. Once you got the editor like this, escape. No. First insert mode. Insert button. Escape colon WQ. W stands for write and Q stands for quit. Let's push the code. Let's push the code. Now let us all check whether hi hello is there or hi is there. See, hello is gone because we reverted the previous commit. What is the latest commit? Hi plus hello also is there. Push the code. Refresh. You can see sample dot. So now you can see only hi is there, hello is not there. So like this, you can just redo the operations of add by using reset and undo the operation. I mean, you can just omit the previous operation of add by using reset and commit by using revert. Revert. Just 5 minutes break. Uh, like uh, I'll check it out. What are the leftover topics we have, so that we'll complete them in next 15 to 20 minutes. Right. Let us all check the leftover topics, if any. I'll give you definitions and if needed, the demonstration here. So you just watch this video again from the beginning itself so that you can just check everything. And if you have any doubts regarding this, you can just contact me through LinkedIn, or through Websadhana Samyoga, your Instagram channel. I'll show. I mean, you may get late replies, but I'll surely give you reply accordingly. I'll. There is a command called as git clone. The next one, git clone. It creates a local copy of an existing repo. So I'll clone the I'll end up my session with the last command, which is git clone. Okay, I'll tell you this demonstration at the end of this session because I'll clone this repository, whatever we have done so far. So the command is git clone repo URL. Let me just execute this command. I think we thought of executing this command later in the middle of the session. Online, one line, graph, decorate. If I don't give decorate, if I give all, like this. So like this, it will be showing. But if I give decorate, hyphen hyphen decorate, like this. So you can see all the commands like this. If there is any merging of branches or everything, everything will be shown like this in one line. One line means no message, no email ID, no name will be displayed. Only commit shorter version of commit ID, 7 length shorter commit ID will be displayed in a graph format. Right. Uh, the next command is git show. Git show. It displays detailed info about a commit. Git- So you can see like this git show. Git show it displaying author name, everything clearly. Everything it is showing the detailed description of this one. For example, if I give git online and if I want to show the specific commit, for example, 99, these IDs will be different for different people, uniquely generated, right? For that commit, it is showing the detailed description, it is showing git show. Nice. So displays about a commit, specific commit, right? Git, git reflog, git reflog records all head movements, purpose, recover, deleted or lost commits. Git reflog. So these are the different head logs. I mean, whatever the commits we are doing for every file, the modifications that we are doing on the same file multiple times, everything is showing. So that I'll get a clear idea like on every file what are the different commits I've done. So that accordingly I can just restore. That is reflog. Next one is git short log. Git short log. It summarize commits by author. Git short log, right? So there are multiple users, right? Like initially index.html added by some user like Satyavani, and later, I mean, with that username, we have added index.html, and later I changed the author name to Surya. So author wise, you can see clearly a short lock that is called as Git short lock. Next one is Git restore hyphen hyphen staged, which will remove files from the staging area. Whatever the files that are added, for example, it will remove from the staging area. So there are no files in staging area. If I run this, you may specify the files. You must specify the path to restore. For example, sample.py, right? Now you can see git space status. So sample.py is now removed from the staging area, right? If you want to, if you want to now modify and all, you can do. So I removed from the staging area. Git space restore space minus hyphen hyphen staged and the file name. So we have done with the show, ref log, reference log, short log, and restore. We already seen reset, right? Like specific file. Same command, same reset and restore same. We completed branches, push, full operation, fetch, git fetch, git fetch command. To be done because we don't have any pull request from others. Pull and fetch both are the operation purpose is same, but pull will merge the operations and then pull the code. And git fetch only fetch the data from git repo to local repo without merging. I already discussed the difference also. Next one is rebase. Rebase. Git rebase, it reapplies commits commits on top of another branch. Example, git rebase main. Current branch is up to date. If you want to merge and all, if you use rebase for reapplies the commits on the top of the other branch while displaying. And in the rebase, we have git rebase. The branch name is main, and we have git rebase continue. There is continue rebase. Next one is git rebase hyphen abort. It is aborting the rebase operation. So, sir, what is rebase? There is a difference between merge and rebase. In merge, we'll create a merge commit separately. Create merge commit. But in rebase, no merge commit. It preserves the history in merge, but it will rewrite the history. That means modified. What are the previous? That means all the merging operations will be stored as a stack, like all the previous and current, everything will be stored. But in rebase, only top of the branch, top. I mean, the it will rewrite the history. So the latest history only will be there. It is safer. It is a cleaner history because no previous logs will be there. No, only latest history will be there. But merge is better so that previous history also will be available. Next one is stash operation. Git stash temporarily stores unfinished work. For example, I created a file called as login.html. I got this HTML file code like exclamatory mark enter. Okay. Now let me add. login. One second. Login file. Now here, if I use the stash command, git space status, git stash, local changes to save. No local changes to save. Okay. For example, if I remove autosave operation, if I add login HTML file, so the file is not saved, right? Let's take git stash. One second. Let me autosave it. Git space add space dot git status. Saved working directory and indexed state WP on main revert. So now you can see git stash login HTML git status. The branch is up to date. So it is saved into a working directory. So stashed means it is there, but it is saved in the like temporarily it will show the unfinished work because we only added to staged area, but we did commit it. Let me complete this git space add space dot commit. Just modify. Yeah, okay, minus m. Everything is up to date. If I stash again, okay, so it is not there even. We already discussed about reset and revert also. Git restore, git restore demo.txt. It will restore all the uh, it will restore all the file contents. So let me write this point. Git restores file contents. That means discards local changes. The command is git space restore space file name. Difference, git difference. Next one is git difference. You can see the differences between two branches. Like one second. Git space difference space main branch with the dev1. Like this, you can see the difference. Like I just want to see the difference between dev1 and dev2. Right. Next one is tags. Very, very important tags. It is very important in Git. A label attached to a commit. For example, let me create a tag called as version 1.0. This is a tag I created. Now, whenever, so now we need to, whenever we need to, so it's a lightweight tag. Git tag minus a version 1.0 minus m release 1.0. Tag 1.0 already there. What are the view tags we have? Git tag version 1.0. Now version 1.0 already there. Let me check the commit history. One second. git commit git log hyphen hyphen one line. There is a one commit message like this one. This one is like this, and this command is something like both it is creating and it is adding. So, for example, if it is 3.0, right now, let me just tag. Now, how many tags we have totally? Let's check the tag git face tag. Git space show space version 1.0 like this. Git space show space 2.0. All tags are there, now, all commits. Sample.py 3.0. 3.0 is unknown. I think it's not 3.0, it is version 3.0. Yeah, few. Let's tag a simple command. So I created three tags, right? Git space. I think, yeah, sorry. Release version 1.0, 1.0, there is no such message like that. We'll do one thing. Online. Now there is a tag called as this one. For example, added git ignore. This is the one tag. Let me copy this. Now I'll put it in Notepad. Now git space, tag space, git space, tag space, minus a, version 1, version 3.0. Now let me add this tag and tag. Too many arguments. Let's check. I think I need to add minus m, version 3.0. After commit message, I need to add minus m. Let's remove too many. I think I need, so sorry. I just need to put this message in double quotes. Version 3.0 already exists. I think we created tag, right? Tag creation can be done by using git space, tag name. Here, one second. I think I need to remove minus here. Let me give it by using version 4.0. Done. Now git show version 4.0. The problem is this command is creating tag and annotating it to the specific commit. That's why it is showing error, right? So, so you can see add.gitignore file under version 4.0 like this. So like this, you can annotate the tags so that you can group the multiple commits into single one tag like that. Four versions. Version one contains some commits. Version two contains some commit like this. So these are the command is git space tag name. If you want to annotate it, git space tag space minus a space the specific commit. So as I said, something like I'll be showing you like last one that is Git clone. So Git clone is something like if it is public repository, for example, copy this and go to, let me create some folder called as sample git repo and open, go to command prompt, whatever the work I have done so far, refresh. Let me refresh once. Okay. Let's just check the status, git space status. Nothing is there. I mean, everything is up to date. Now let's go to command prompt, git space, clone space, control V. If it is repo is the public, if the repo is public, then entire repository will be created as a local copy. You can see here, everything I got, right? So from here, you can just continue from the operations. And the next operation is collaborator. So in the Git settings, if you want to delete this repo, you can delete this repo. You can go to last operations, change the repository visibility, change to public. Uh, what are the clone operation I've done? I have done because it's in my accounts, right? If other want to do it, it should be public or they should have collaborative access. Collaborative access, right? So if you want, you can change to public. Let me change to public. Make repository as public. Perfect. And if you want to delete the repository, you can. You can transfer the ownership and you can archive also. Archive means it will not be displayed in the profile in the dashboard. And let me add as a collaborator. Now it is a private repository, right? So go to collaborator, go to add people. This is the last step in my what we call in the master life class. I covered all the concepts in the Git almost. I'll give you summary also at the end. Let me just type my my GitHub ID. Invite. Let me just try to accept this. Yeah, I got the invitation. View invitation. Let me show you that invitation to you. Now click on view invitation. We need to sign in. Let me just sign in to my account. One sec. I'm signing into my account, right? Give me 1 second. I can add two-step verification also. Give me 1 second. Now let me click on view invitation, accept invitation. Done. So now they have two accounts, two users now. One is Satyavani's account and the second one is third Surya Kiran. Now the invitation is accepted. Now the Surya want to add one file, for example. So click on add file. For example, add file. Let me create a simple, if you want, you can upload the file or you can just add the file. Let me add the file. Add the file, add as greetings.txt. Good night. Click on commit changes. If anyone there in the live, can you just quickly respond in the chat? Commit changes. So I added because I have a collaborative access. Now here it is not there. So just pull, git pull. Because I said whatever there in the git repo, if you want to get it to your local repo, git pull. So you can see greetings. So like this, you can add other as a collaborator, or you can merge also like this, merge also. So let me give you a summary of today's masterclass on Git. So the summary is we talk about Git. We 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 had a discussion about version control, Git, GitHub. We talked about Git init, next Git add, staging area, Git commit, Git remote, Git branches, Git merging, Git push and pull, Git reset, Git revert, Git ignore. Importantly, we talked about very important merge conflict. Merge conflict, how to resolve? Of course, manually only. Merge conflict resolution, and then we talked about Git tags, Git rebase, Git ref log, Git show log, Git not Git show log, sorry, short log, Git show, Git. We talked about head also. It is pointing out to the latest commit, the commits. Next, we talked about Git tag. We can categorize the commits. Clearly, I executed four commits and I executed four tags. Very important rules of thumb, before proceeding with any Git operation, use Git fetch generally before, if you want to, before Git pull when working in the team, because so that merging everything you can check, because Git pull will merge and will integrate the code. So Git fetch only, it will get the code from the Git repo to local repo, but it will not merge. Next one is use Git reset before pushing. Use Git revert before after pushing. So reset is something like before commit, right? That means uh, we can avoid the add operation that we have done. Revert in the sense whatever the commit you have done, I want to remove that. That is revert. And use branches for team for feature developments, multiple branches, multiple tasks, collaboration. Use pull requests for code review because multiple users are working on the same projects. I don't want to push them to main branch. I want to push them to individual branches like we have done. Use tags for releases version 1.0, 2.0 like that, and use ref log, reference log. We can see the all the lost commits. We can see all the commits we have done on that file, right? Use git space ref log space a specific file. So this is what we discussed, and I think daily, I mean, in my upcoming full stack series also, whatever the project I'm going to create, at the end of the session, I'll push the code like this. I'll create one repo. I'll maintain every code in my repo. That's why I covered these all concepts in one masterclass live session because I want to proceed this Git. I want to use this Git in every development of mine. And you also in your projects, please use Git daily when you do any project, either coding project or web application project, any project. So you push the code once you're done with the coding part. So thank you so much for your support and for your attention and for your patience. And thank you for joining us. Like, please, 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 if you like this content, please share this YouTube channel with your friends and family, colleagues, and I'll ask them to like and subscribe to my channel. So, Web Sadhana Samyoga, it's an Instagram channel as well as YouTube channel. If I get more follows and also that I'll continue this content delivery in different technologies. So now I'm working on full stack. Parallelly, I'm going to start competitive coding. As I said in my intro video, like I'll be conducting mock interviews also, like so that you'll get the insights from them. So please, like I request you to follow my uh, Instagram channel as well as uh, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Good night. Take care. Bye bye, guys.